Oh wait, oh shit. Turn off my fan. Blah blah blah. Oh, it's spooky.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween, you fuckwads.
That's really mean. You shouldn't say that.
But
You're already saying yourself really, really bad. I don't think you should
it's fine. It's fine. But anyways, yes, hello everybody, and welcome back. It has been a very, very, very long time. And I have.
When was the last time? What was it, like a year, 2 years ago even?
I think it was the beginning of 2024 was the last one. I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Pretty sure it was.
That's absurd. Actually, okay, I sound like a fucking commercial right now. That's absurd. Tell me more. No, that's actually like crazy.
I know it's insane, but it's true. I checked. Actually, I didn't. I'm just going off memory.
I can check for you right now.
You can go check. Wait, it's a spooky day. It is a spooky. And what better way to spend the spooky holiday?
Sounded really millennial.
What? Oh, wow. Spooky haircut.
No. Fuck no.
Yeah, that's great. What do you mean? That's great.
I hate that video. It's funny when you put it ironically, but my sister one time was like, do you know you sound like that person in real life? Like, you act like them. And I went, no, what the fuck? I don't. What the fuck? And then I think about that.
That was
funny.
I
kind of look like them right now, if you don't know. I got a really fucked up haircut.
Nah. I saw that video and I was like, what? No spooky haircut? And they were like, just kidding. And I was like, ha, you got me. That wasn't.
Why are you the target audience for that fucking video, dude? That's horrible.
Because I have the mind of a baby, but
you have the mind of a millennial. I'm sorry.
I know.
I still appreciate your company, but it's something that we gotta accept and move on from.
I know.
You gotta think like Gen Alpha.
Fucking, I hear rumbling going on, man. In my dorm, it's busy. There's rumble in the tumble.
My tummy's rumbling.
Rumbling in my tummy.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's
Halloween.
Oh yeah, it's Halloween. Hello, everybody. It's Halloween's.
What does Halloween mean to you? How do you feel about it?
It means pillaging and all those.
What the?
No.
You have to cut that out. You fucking.
I just censor it. Yeah, I have to cut that out. You fucking idiot.
You're acting like one.
No. You want to know what Halloween means to me? You want to know?
What does it mean to you? Candy.
No. What Halloween means to me is going around and fucking with people like it did to my dad that one Halloween. He actually brought it up to me today when he called me. I was surprised. I was like, I wouldn't think you would remember that, but he does. Have I told you that? I feel like I have told you that story, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's a beautiful, beautiful story. When I was, I think I was, I want to say like 14, 15. No. Yes, because my brother was leaving for college. So I would have been like 14, 15. My brother's friend, I've mentioned him on the channel before, I think. He had a gorilla suit. And because he was going off to college, he was like, I'm not taking this to college. Do you want it? And he like offered it to me, and I was like, I will take gorilla suit. And it was coming up on Halloween, so I was like, I know what to do. So I went and left. Hold on, sorry, I was just checking something. Sorry. But anyways, fuck, I lost my train of thought. I was checking something. Someone was texting me.
It's all good.
No, I'm not gonna. You know what?
Cut it out. Don't let the fans hear your moment of weakness.
Okay.
I like that I say fans as if we have like a big.
We have one fan.
Bouncing audience.
Big bouncing belly audience.
We have one fan, and it is me.
We have one fan, but they're a really big fan, so they count towards like 10. Like they're like the equivalent of 10 fans. So
right.
So it actually works out pretty well. What the fuck are you talking about? Talking about the gorilla suit. And let me quickly start over. I got sidetracked. Basically, my brother's friend was leaving for college as well, around when my brother was. He was like, hey, I'm leaving. I'm not taking this with me. Do you want this gorilla suit? And I was like, I will have gorilla suit. And at one point, I was out with my dad, and we were like at a Halloween store that opens up like periodically throughout, like closer to Halloween. And I found like the steampunk hat and goggles, and I was like, I know what I want to be this Halloween. So basically what I did was I wore the gorilla suit and I wore the steampunk hat and steampunk goggles, and I was like, it was like so fucking funny, but it was really hard to fucking see anything because it was a gorilla suit, was also a gorilla mask, and the goggles covered over the eye parts, and every time I breathed in or out, it went out through the eye socket area of the mask, and it fogged up the goggles. But I was so dedicated to the costume, I put up with it. And I remember walking around my neighborhood, and everyone like pointed at and shouted at me. It was like, "Ay, Harambe!" And I didn't say anything. I was just like being like, ooh, and I just like would give them like a thumbs up whenever they would like call me Harambe. And then I was like, and then I remembered I was like, I never told my dad what I was going as for Halloween. Let's go see my daddy. So I walked all the way down to his house, and he was out giving out candy because Halloween's one of his favorite holidays, and he always likes to get into the spirit of the holiday. So he's always out giving candy and stuff and looking at all the costumes and stuff. And he was handing out candy, and I was in the gorilla punk steampunk suit. I literally walked right up to him and got in his face, like an inch away from his face. And my dad was handing out candies to kids when I did that. So I'm just standing there, and my dad is handing the candies. He's looking at me like, he literally went, "Can I help you, sir?" And I just like, I stood right there in his face, and my dad was like, "Can you get away from me, please?" And I didn't
like say he was gonna beat you.
Yeah, what happened was that I think because I bought it with him, he recognized the steampunk hat and goggles, and he realized it was me, and I was like, "Yeah, it's me." And then he literally like he literally took a step back, and he was like so relieved. He was like, "Oh my god, thank God! I was literally about to fucking deck you." And I believe it too, because my dad is a black belt in Taekwondo. So, and I was wearing a fucking gorilla suit, and I could barely see. So if he wanted to beat my ass there, he would have. I wouldn't have been able to have fought back.
Why does everybody like know Taekwondo? I did Taekwondo. You did Taekwondo. Your dad did Taekwondo.
It's a good martial art that doesn't require too much like physical like restraints. Like I feel like anybody can learn Taekwondo because it takes a lot of inspiration from boxing. So it's a lot about conserving your energy, and it's about like holding your ground and not necessarily throwing in punches, but more so just learning how to like respond to your opponent, you know? And I feel like it's very universal. I just feel like it's very universal martial art, especially in America, because of because I think it was designed. I could be incorrect about this, but I'm pretty sure Taekwondo was created during World War II. Can I check this real quickly?
We are so off topic. It's actually fucking hilarious.
That's the whole point of the podcast. Hold on. Where was Taekwondo made? Yes. Okay. So it was Korea. And it was developed in the 1940s and 50s, so it would have been during the World War II. I think it was created in Korea around that time, but it was brought over to America during World War II to teach the troops so they could learn how to defend themselves on one-on-one combat against opponents, which is why I think it's so popular in America, because it was introduced over there and it was taught to a lot of World War II American soldiers, I believe. So it just kind of became popular from that, and that's why a lot of Americans just end up kind of learning Taekwondo, because it was popularized from that. But yeah, getting back on topic. Yeah, the topic we're gonna try to focus on some spooky, scary. Ooh, editor, put like a little lightning bolt, like a little like shitty like fucking lightning bolt going. Yeah, like that. Like when I do that here.
Yeah.
So
how were you like? How was your relationship with Halloween, would you say?
I think my relationship with Halloween has been pretty good. We don't talk very often, but when we do, it's usually pretty good. Like, we catch
I'm
up.
trying to actually have a fucking conversation here.
And so am I. Yes, I have a very good relationship with Halloween. I feel like I always enjoyed it as a kid. It always made me sad, though, because I really liked the holiday, and I would cry as a little baby boy because I was like, no more candy. But, I mean...
When did you stop trick-or-treating? When was, like, your last year?
Around when COVID started.
Damn. So what grade was that?
That was about almost 6 years ago. So I probably would have been almost 15, 16, I think. Yeah, it's probably like 16.
Wow.
Yeah, I think
average.
I think the last year I trick-or-treated when I was like 15. So like when I went out as the steampunk monkey, I think was the last time. I don't even know if I trick-or-treated when I was the steampunk monkey, actually. I think I just walked around the neighborhood. I don't think I actually trick-or-treated or did anything. I might have. I don't know. I know one year I went as Jason Voorhees and I took my dog Taryn with me, and everyone like walked up to pet Taryn, and I would just be standing there with the machete, and everyone, because I have really broad shoulders. I'm a big guy. I was able to play like a really intimidating Jason. Everyone looked at me really uncomfortably. They're like, "Can I pet your dog?" I wouldn't say anything. I would just look at them.
Right.
I'm a method actor. When I'm doing a Halloween costume, I get in the character. So I actually like that one. That one was before. I think that was the year before. So that's when I was 14, I think. And then the steampunk was when I was 15. And I think when I was 16, I went as Iron Punisher, because I had an Iron Man Punisher helmet, and I thought it'd be really cool to wear a Punisher shirt and then a leather jacket with it.
Remember you telling me this, actually?
Yes, I actually still have the helmet and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And then I don't know what the fuck I dressed up as when I was 17. Fuck. Oh shit. I think I do remember what I dressed up as when I was 17. I dressed up in my maid outfit. I remember now. That was a good Halloween. I remember I didn't tell my mom, and I walked down the stairs with it, and she laughed. She thought it was really funny, and I was like, I know, right? It's great. I didn't trick-or-treat either. I handed out candy. Because at that point, like, once you get to, like, I was basically almost a grown fucking man. I was 17. I was like, I think it'd just be more fun to hand out candy and like, wave to people in my maid outfit. And that was pretty good. I thought that was fun. I had to wear shorts, though, because I was sitting down, and the skirt did not hide. It did not leave a lot to the imagination, so I had to wear shorts underneath it. But that was good. And then, shit, I don't think I did anything, because that year I was in college and I was really busy with work. So unfortunately, I didn't really dress up. Same with the year after that. The year when I was 19, I was, what was it? No, because when I was 18, fuck, I'm getting the timeline all confused. Maybe it was 18. Maybe I was 18 when I did the maid outfit. If that's the case, I don't remember what I was when I was 17.
No, I think you were 17 when you did the maid outfit. I remember you telling me this.
Might have been. If that's the case, I don't remember what I did when I was 18. I don't think I dressed up when I was 18, sadly.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember, and I don't think I do. Actually, now that I'm remembering it, I remember one year I went as a raptor from Jurassic World.
That's fun.
Yeah. I love dinosaurs. Editor, put a picture up of my favorite dinosaur right there. Thank you. It's just an enlarged picture of a salamander.
Put your actual favorite dinosaur.
Put my 3 favorites right here. I can tell you my most favorite. It's the motherfucking Congestosaurus and Ankylosaur himself. I love that guy.
Remember you telling me this before?
I love the Ankylosaurus. He's cool. Sorry, I'm trying to thinking to myself, do I really want to talk about dinosaurs? Is that really Halloween themed? But at the same time, it's like we talk about what we want. But I do want to say I do have some scary stories to tell. But before that, I wanted to ask, what's your relationship with Halloween?
For me, I grew up really, really involved in Halloween. Me and my mom are super duper into it. Meanwhile, my dad and sister never really cared too much for it. Like, obviously, like, my sister liked it growing up, but they weren't, like, as into it as me and my mom. Me and my mom would, like, go to fucking Spirit Halloween and see, like, if there's any animatronics we would buy. We actually have, like, a few back at home. Obviously, I'm in college now, but back at home, there were a few we owned. We gave out, like, full-sized candy bars. We gave out nerd ropes, packs of Oreos, Chips Ahoy. We were, like, a really
Chips
good
Ahoy
house. We were, like, we had a lot of really good shit. And, like, at one year, I was, like, Golden Freddy. I had a full-on costume that me and my dad made together. I did a costume with, like, moving wings. I was so fucking into Halloween. I had a ton of costumes I did. But I remember my last year I actually went trick-or-treating was senior year of high school. I was 17, 18 years old. And I was planning on doing it well into, like, my 20s, because I was like, why the fuck not? And I went with my friend who was a few years younger than me, and I had this really nice costume that I spent a lot of time on. I'm going around, and I'm just like, I think this is enough. I think I was, like, just starting to kind of realize, like, this isn't actually for me. Like, this is kind of starting to fade. And, like, I look back at it now, and I'm like, I still have, like, oh, I really want to go trick-or-treating. But I'm wondering if I'm going to feel the same way, like, if it's even fucking worth it to go out, because I'm probably just going to be like, I would rather just dress up and, like, do something else. It's also unfortunate because people are fucking trunk-or-treating nowadays. And, like,
trunk-or-treat.
I hate trunk-or-treaters. If you went trick-or-treating, I hate you.
Oh, is that a real thing? I thought you just mispronounced trick-or-treat.
No, you don't know about fucking trunk-or-treat? Let me tell you. Trunk-or-treat is an event that happens, like, earlier in the day on Halloween.
It's when grown men drive up to children and say, get in my trunk.
No. Mine is fucking well, though. It's, like, a big lineup of cars in, like, a designated area. There's, like, multiple trunk-or-treats that go on during Halloween. And on the trunk of their car, they have, they decorate the trunk, and then, like, they dress up, and then they give out candy. But it's, like, people will do that, and then they won't go trick-or-treating because, like, it's safer. And it's quicker. It's because the people are fucking lazy, and they want to go trick-or-treating. And, like, the amount of kids that trick-or-treat, like, are halved now. Because they all go fucking trunk-or-treat. And it makes me so upset and, like, angry. Because you're ruining the magic. Like, I would love to give out candy to the kiddos. And, like, fucking, they're all at the fucking trunk-or-treat. It is shocking to me that you've never heard of trunk-or-treat.
Yeah, I'm not with the times.
You really aren't. And that's okay. I call you out on it sometimes.
You call me out on it a lot, but that's okay. I'd rather be left in oblivion about all this, like, shit going on.
Millennial, right?
I mean, I don't wear it proudly, but I am. But
are you?
Wait, what's the millennial? What's the clarifications of a millennial again? What year do you have to be born to be a millennial?
Oh, you were definitely not millennial.
Oh, no, not a millennial. I'm a Gen Z. I'm a Gen Z.
Well, we're both Gen Z.
Close to millennial. Close to millennial. Only.
No, you're fucking not.
I was only like what? I was only like 6 years off.
That's a lot.
That's not that much.
That's a lot. That's almost like a whole generation on its own.
I guess so. Then why isn't? Wait, I am. It's Gen Z. I was about to say, then why am I not part of that generation from 1996 to 2003? And I was like, wait, I am. It's Gen Z.
Yes, you are.
And Gen Z, I don't wear it proudly. I'm not. I
mean, if it makes you feel better, I would say you fit in more with millennials than Gen Z.
Thank you. I mean,
I don't know if that's a good thing.
I don't know either. All I know is that people have apparently claimed that Gen Z workers are much more infuriating to work with than previous generations.
I disagree with that so much. It's just that fucking boomers feel entitled we're not.
Sorry. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, boomers want the same amount of respect that fucking millennials give, like, automatically, even when they're assholes.
I think that what it is that Gen Z are just more aware of, like, you know, like, what should be considered good working environments, whereas I feel like a lot of millennials are just like, I don't care where I work as long as I get money. But like Gen Zs are like about like wanting like fairness in the work environment, because they realize that like it's one thing to make money, but it's another thing if going to work every day is literally going to fucking ruin your life. So, and right. I feel like a lot of people are like annoyed by them. I feel like there are definitely a lot of annoying Gen Zers out there. Don't get me wrong, but I feel I also feel like there's nothing wrong with speaking out about like and also making aware of like disabilities and such, especially with the AMA, is very important. And I feel like people should be entitled to their AMA benefits. I feel like you obviously shouldn't be an asshole about it and be like, hey, I'm disabled. You need to fucking not, you need to fucking like, you need to do whatever I say and stuff like that. It should be more so like, you inform them about it. And I feel like a lot of workplaces are like looking at them like, you're a fucking pussy. And I'm, it's like really fucked, because it's like, the AMA exists for a reason. I did a whole research paper on the AMA, dude. Don't fucking test me, on the AMA. I know all about it and its benefits. And the fact that there's people that complain about the AMA and about how like it makes people weak having this, it's like, well, you just makes me like, I saw like when I was doing the research, I saw like there's not too many, because as you imagine, you have to be a real asshole to write an article going against the AMA. Right. But there are a few out there that I found. It was really like, I was like, how can you, like, on one hand, I almost see where they're coming from, but on the other hand, I'm just like, no, like, because it's like, oh, these people are going to abuse it, and if we, give them all these benefits, they're never going to be able to properly adjust to like what the real world is like. And I'm like, dude, the point of the AMA is that it's changing the real world, so it applies these benefits to them.
Right.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I guess you're saying like, oh, what if they work somewhere that doesn't provide those benefits? If a place doesn't provide those benefits, then the place is going to get fucking sued, because it's by law. It's an act. They have to oblige by it. It's an act. You must oblige by it. Look at that. It's supposed to be the spooky. You know what? It is spooky, because we're talking.
Not get political.
Yeah, politics are spooky. Editor, flash politics on screen. Boom.
Do you know what's scary?
What's scary?
People who don't understand my love for Ken Gaslight District.
More on that later, but I did want to ask you.
No, more on that now.
Well, I wanted to ask you something.
What?
What is your favorite television show Halloween special?
Oh. It's technically not a Halloween special anymore. You have to fucking buy it to watch it, but it's The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. You have to buy it now, because Apple's a fucking greedy piece of shit, and my mom's gonna watch it with my sister, and I'm really fucking upset. I'm gonna fucking cry.
That is a good one. That is a classic. One of the first ones that comes to mind, I feel. I guess it would technically be a Halloween special, but so one of my favorite shows of all time is The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and there were two. So the first one is obviously the Jack episode because Wayne Knight is in it, and I fucking love Wayne Knight. Like he's like an OG, and he's awesome, and I love him in that episode. And I am so surprised that I managed to remember his name because I never do. And the fact that I remembered his name for this makes me very happy because it just shows how much I like that Halloween special. I really liked Wayne Knight in that as Jack. I thought he was really good, and I really like Jack's design. It's very simple, but also effective. But another thing I really liked as a kid, especially, and it's really weird, and it's extra weird because it's kind of hard to find it like really anywhere, along with a lot of the other Grim Adventures, like sort of like movie stuff. But it was Underfist. And I really enjoyed Underfist, and I rewatched it a little while ago, but I still really enjoy it. It's dumb, but it's supposed to be dumb, and it's really entertaining. I really like that one. The SpongeBob Halloween special is pretty good. It's funny, but
which one is that one again?
It's the one where he fucking shaves his head down to his brain.
Oh God!
Yeah. I
didn't watch a ton of SpongeBob growing up. I was like occasional SpongeBob watcher.
That's fair. I'm trying to think. There were any other Halloween specials that like really, really stuck with me. That one definitely. I know the fucking Christmas special for Billy and Mandy stuck with me as a kid because it was fucking weird because it was terrifying. It was like fucking Santa Claus is a vampire and he looks really gross. But that could be another thing too. We could also talk about childhood traumas, like things that scared us. I've already told you about my childhood trauma and I'll talk about it here. But before we do, I know you're very much anticipating wanting to talk about your lovely boy Ken. So please describe to us how sexy he is.
Ken Gaslight District is an enigma to me.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
Because there's not a lot of content or fans of him. There's definitely some. I've seen some like usernames of Ken's #1 fan here and there on like TikTok or whatever, but like there's not many. There's not much fan art. But he's probably one of the sexiest characters in modern media.
Let's go.
Modern, like as in the last like 3 years. He's most definitely up there. His power, his stature, he's a very sexy voice. His personality. Oh my God, I'd be doing fucking Beyblade tricks on that thing. He is fine as fuck, and then like I only meet people who think I'm disgusting and horrible for thinking that. And then I only meet people, or other than that, the only other people I meet are people who immediately agree with me, no questions asked. There's no in between, I can kind of see, it's either you deserve to go to hell, and he's disgusting, ugly piece of shit blob from the fucking bottom of the fucking ocean. Or, oh my God, yes, he's so fine, yes. Those are the only two people I meet ever.
He's a very likable character. I think he was fun.
He's awesome. I think his plushie is really cool. I think all of his merch is really nice. I think the Gaslight District merch is probably some of the best merch that Glitch has ever done. I think the plushies particularly all look really nice.
And now I have a boy. I'm missing. What did he say? I'm missing a boy washer. Shit into shit. Oh, it's a shit. No. Now I'm wishing.
You fucked it up. You fucking.
I don't remember I don't remember the YouTube poop. What does he say?
And now I'm missing a.
Oh, he says, and now I'm missing a shit washer, a boy, and 2 boy washers. That's what he says.
You have to find that clip and try to put it. I tried to re-find it the other day and I couldn't find it.
I have it saved. On my
Twitter.
Good.
You should put that clip in there.
I love that YouTube poop.
It's a really good video.
And whose fault is that?
And whose fault is that? I love that video so much.
I saw your nose bleed. But then you straight up told Romeo, who then told Mario. I love that.
Who then told Sid?
the shitwasher boy.
YouTube poop impressions.
Alfred from Snapcube.
Yeah.
I could try.
Do it like off the top of your own head, though.
I'm going to eat this baby.
Okay, never mind. You fucked it.
That is like YouTube poops before YouTube poops. I am going to eat this baby. There.
I'm going to eat.
Yeah, you have to kind of talk like you're about to like just randomly speak backwards. So it's like, I'm going to eat this bait.
I feel no, you don't have it. You don't have it.
I don't have it. It's not easy. I don't know how to.
It's not easy. I'm not saying I have it either. Shit. Let me think of something.
Squidward, look, a shit.
I suggested it, but I literally cannot do it. But it is difficult.
What's the one that I was watching that was really funny? It was the SpongeBob one, and it was really good. I don't remember what exactly happened.
Can I say something?
What?
Pablo Picasso's a piece of shit, and I don't think he should be respected as like an engineer of art.
How in theme with Halloween?
He was a fucking womanizer piece of shit. I did not like Pablo Picasso. I still do not like Pablo Picasso. He should not be an icon.
He said something weird like all men are women, and therefore just some weird shit.
He made his girlfriends fight each other or something. It was really crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not a big fan of Pablo Picasso, but that caught me so off guard. That was really funny. Thank you for sharing that, though. I'm glad I'm glad we have a platform where we can really voice our opinions.
I think a lot of not gonna go there. I don't want to be political.
Politics are a little bit too scary, so we're gonna avoid that. But I think I definitely have some stories to tell. But I think I want to bring up childhood trauma and what terrified me as a kid. I forget. What did you?
I don't know if I want to talk about childhood trauma.
Not that trauma. I'm talking about from like watching TV shows as a kid or movies, like things that like terrify. I know. Did you tell me what yours was? I forget.
I had quite a few things that scared me as a kid. I can name you a few if you'd like. I mean, I'm not going to talk about monkeys because I feel like I've already.
Yeah, we all know you fell into Harambe's den.
Here, I actually have a list of a bunch of things that really scared me as a kid. May I go over them?
Yeah, go over the list.
I don't know if you guys ever went on Nickelodeon's website as a kid and played like the Flash games. I'm not talking about Black Licorice. Everyone knows about fucking Black Licorice and that game that was on the Nick website. Everybody knows about that. Everybody was scared of that. I'm not going to be unoriginal here. There was this game called Creepy Candy Craze, and it was a Back to the Barnyard game, and it's where
Back to the Future.
The cow, I forget it's Otis, whatever, is a vampire, and you're eating candy, and then your meter goes up. When your meter goes all the way up, he turns like ultra vampire and like destroys everything. That shit really scared me as a kid for some reason, and it wasn't even that scary. I just really got freaked the fuck out like about it. I also was scared of Betty Boop growing up. I thought her mouth was too tiny. We were actually watching Betty Boop recently in class, and like she's not scary to me anymore. But when I was growing up, the way she looked and how tiny her like little mouth was really freaked me the fuck out. Do you guys remember Crashbox? Did you ever watch Crashbox?
I don't even know what that is.
Can you do me a favor and search up the Crashbox guy? And tell me that wouldn't freak you the fuck out as a kid.
The Crash Box guy.
The Crash Box guy. Crash Box, one word.
The Crash Box guy.
Images. The second image. That fucking thing. This was a children's TV show. Put him on screen. There was a scene where he was like about to vomit or something, and it was like a countdown, and it freaked me the fuck out growing up. This show is so fucking scary.
Oh, I think I've heard of this show. Yeah.
The news anchor lady was used for some crazy shit later down the line, but that's what I remember from that. So I'm just going down the list here. Mr. Meaty.
I was literally about to say, this reminds me of Mr. Meaty when I watched it as a kid.
That shit scared me so fucking bad.
There was a zombie episode that I think traumatized me a little bit. Everybody always talks about
the tapeworm episode.
No, the tapeworm episode I didn't care for. It was the zombie episode that scared me.
The tapeworm one scared me really bad.
I did not like the tapeworm one. I did not like it. It was scary. I did not like it. It was very uncomfortable.
Do you remember? I don't know if you were ever stayed up late as a kid. Sorry, once again, I'm going down these rapid fire. I don't know if you ever stayed up late as a kid.
I usually did.
Cartoon Network.
I usually did. Yeah.
There would be a transitional screen from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim.
I think I remember those.
And it would be like, all right, we'll be back. See you at 6 a.m. And then it would cut to Adult Swim. And this was a really weird experience. It was like a weird, like, summer night. My parents and like a bunch of neighbors were in the cul-de-sac on my street, and I was the only one inside watching TV. And I was watching Cartoon Network, and it was shifting to Adult Swim, and it switched over to the okay, kids, go to bed.
Go to bed, you fuckers.
See you at 6 a.m. And then it cut to a bumper that was like this weird trippy visual that had a fucking jump scare in it, and I ran away, screaming and crying to my mom, like, oh my god, this TV just did a fucking jump scare. And no one fucking believes me. And I fucking hated that.
Sounds pretty scary.
I was also scared of the regular show intro.
Really?
That shit it horrified me. And the ticking clock sound effect in the background scared the fuck out of me. I literally could not I wasn't allowed to watch regular show anyway because it said curse words in it.
I wasn't allowed either. I was allowed to watch it at my dad's house because he really liked it, and my mom didn't like it. And the funniest thing was that it wasn't even for the curse words. It was because of Muscle Man.
I think you remember you telling me this. Yeah, he's a bad influence.
Yeah, my mom did not like Muscle Man at all, and she banned me from watching it at her house because of that. So I remember when the movie came out, I had to sneakily watch it at my mom's house down in the basement late at night. And I was like really nervous that she would catch me watching it. And it was like, but I got to watch it all the time at my dad's house because my dad, it's funny, my mom hated Muscle Man, but my dad loved him. So
I think I don't know. The intro really scared me, and I would try to quickly flip off the channel because I wasn't allowed to watch it anywhere. I was scared of a lot of weird shit. I remember I was scared of Bunsen and Beaker growing up too.
Bunsen and Beaker.
Because I had a dream. I guess Bunsen, he's the green one, where it was his face was just really up in my face. It was just all I could see in my dream, and he just kept making really loud noises in my ear. And it was really fucking scary, and I remember waking up being really scared of him. Oh my god, fuck, that's just so fucking
Bunsen's
scary.
gonna get me.
I was also scared of when you put in a Wii disc and it was a little scratched up and said an error occurred, eject the thing. That would scare the fuck out. Honestly, error screens still scare me to this day. Just an eerie silence. I don't like it.
Fair, you know what? Fair enough. I think even though I laugh like there's strange things that definitely like terrify us as kids and stuff. Like as a little kid, I'm sure there was stuff I was scared of that I can't really remember off the top of my head because I have a terrible memory with some like stuff like that. What I do have a good memory is with the stuff that like legitimately like scarred and like traumatized me. And the one, well, there's two actually. I'm gonna talk about the first, the one. I should probably talk about the one that's like I think everybody already knows. Is when I was younger, me and my family used to watch Goosebumps together, specifically with my dad and my brother and me. And I remember that there were two episodes in particular that I did not like as a young boy. The first one was The Curse of the Mask. I did not like that one because it was very uncomfortable, like the mask like bonding to the skin and stuff, and the fucking porcelain head like moving its eyes and mouth was really just like, even though like you have to keep in mind, like watching it now it's like a really shitty edit, but back when you're a kid and you're watching it on like your like family TV and like and you're watching it on the broadcast channels and stuff where it's not the best like quality, it looks like it made it look uncanny, like really uncanny and almost realistic, in like the eyes of a child, I guess, and like with the shitty quality of the TV like channels. And I didn't like that. And I remember I couldn't watch that episode for the longest time because it made me very uncomfortable and stuff. But the one that like truly traumatized me was Night of the Living Dummy 3. I remember that one is the one that traumatized me. And I remember I watched it as a kid and I was like, I fucking hate this. This is awful. And it's because Slappy was really uncomfortable for me. I don't know what it is that made me scared of him. I think it is the same reason that I was scared of the porcelain head in the Curse of the Mask or whatever. It's because he's just fucking uncanny and weird looking. And I think what really scared me is the scene where, by the way, the fact that do you remember that episode of the Goosebumps curse? I
didn't really watch Goosebumps growing up. So
in that, the whole premise of the episode is that their cousin is like staying over. It's like a whole big plot point, and the cousin is played by none other than motherfucking Anakin Skywalker from the Star Wars trilogies. Like prequel movies. I'm not even joking. The guy that played Anakin in like the adult Anakin, like the one that slaughtered all the kids. Yeah, him like when he was younger, like that's him in the movie. I forget his name. I'll search it up later or just put it on the screen. But yeah, there's a scene where he's lying in bed and he's asleep, and the other two cousins, the main characters, are trying to wake him up, but the room is locked because Slappy locked it, and he is in the room and he's lying on top of him in bed, and he fucking like hucks a loogie no he doesn't. He kind of does that. He like breathes into his nose, and it's like this green, like mucusy, like fog. And they eventually break into the room, and he's gone. And they go up into the attic, and then Slappy reveals that he's turned him into a fucking puppet. And as a kid, that absolutely fucking terrified me because also like is his name Hayden Christensen? Is that his name? Can I check real quick?
Fuck if I know.
Can I check real quickly?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure his name is Hayden Christensen. I want to check to make sure because I don't want to say the wrong actor and look like an idiot. It is Hayden Christensen. Okay, so I'm right. So, and then, like, because the Hayden Christensen dummy version, and I want to show you what it looked like as a kid. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. Night of the Living Dummy Puppets. Let's see if we can find an image of, So this is what Slappy looked like in the original cartoons.
I've seen this.
Much creepier, in my opinion, than his appearance in the Goosebumps film. However,
honestly, how old is Slappy in the Goosebumps movie? How old is Slappy in the Goosebumps movie?
I don't
search something. Can you search something for me real quick?
No!
Something, but I don't know if I can.
I don't know if I could be able to find the Hayden Christensen puppet. If I do...
Can you search how old Slappy is in the Goosebumps movie for me real quick with Jack Black, please? Just do me a quick little favor. Just search that for me real quick. Just search that for me.
How old is Slappy the puppet from the Goosebumps movie?
Is he an adult? Because I had a crush on him as a kid. I'm not going to lie to you. If I'm being honest, I had a really big crush on Slappy.
I was terrified of him. How can you have a crush on him? I hated him.
From the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, I remember there was this mobile game that was actually like kind of scary, and you would like look around a room and he would jump scare you, and I'd be like, yes, Slappy. I would like scream at the phone and be like, I want to work for you. Come back. I will be your henchman. I love Slappy, and I loved him growing up.
Oh, I forgot about Magic. We should watch that movie. I heard about that movie. It's like the inspiration for Night of the Living Dummy. It's like a big inspiration and stuff. It's about a puppet that comes to life, and I think it's like a ventriloquist, but the puppet ends up like committing murders and stuff, and like and it's like really like surreal or something like that. But yeah, Slappy terrified me, and then my brother worsened my fear because my uncle gave us a wooden ventriloquist dummy one year, and his name was Charlie, and I hated him because he was creepy and he reminded me of Slappy, and my brother realized I was terrified of him, and he would hide him around the house, and I would remember it would terrify me because he was fucking awful. And then I remember I managed to get over my fear of Charlie by sleeping with him one night, and then I woke up the next morning and I was okay, so I knew I didn't need to be scared of him. But that doesn't mean I don't have a necessarily dislike towards ventriloquist dummies. I think they're really cool, but they're very like Billy from fucking Dead Silent. I really like Billy. He has a cool design, but holy shit. Like, I want to clarify, Billy is cool. I'm not actually that scared of Billy. Like, he is creepy for how uncanny he is, because ventriloquist dummies like that, especially when they look all old and beaten up like that, yeah, they're uncomfortable looking. At the beginning of the movie, I definitely, like, he was creepy. Throughout the rest of the movie, though, I feel like he lost a lot of his creepiness, sadly. But the beginning of the movie, I thought he was pretty creepy. I liked what they did with him in the beginning. But the scene that I fucking despised from that movie, that brought back all of my childhood fears of ventriloquist dummies, is the scene where the mortuary guy is like talking to the main character about like the legend of the woman who, like, the ventriloquist woman, and like the night that she was killed by like the townsfolk for believing that she like kidnapped the kid who was rude at one of her performances. And apparently in her will, it was stated that she wanted to become one of her puppets. So the kid is the young version of him is like going downstairs and tries to peek into her coffin, and then it falls over and it just reveals her, and she's like all stitched up and looks like a fucking ventriloquist dummy. It is one of the most uncomfortable visuals in a horror movie for me. I hate it. She looks so fucking, that is like, cause that is so uncanny. It's like, it borders on like, cause now it's not like, oh, it's a dummy that looks like a person. Now it's like, oh, now it's a person that looks like a dummy. Now it's like you flipped the uncanny, and now it's even worse. And I remember I saw that for the first time, and I literally was like, Jeepers Creepers. It scared me. It made me puke a little bit. And so yeah, there's that. And then my second one I told you about very recently. As a kid, I loved watching Courage the Cowardly Dog, and for the most part, it really did not scare me, despite like the visuals. A lot of them didn't really get to me. Wasn't scared by. I actually quite enjoyed Courage. I'm sure some of the visuals probably disturbed me a little bit, but they didn't really get to me all that much. But there was one episode and one scene in particular that for whatever reason I misremembered, and the way I saw it as a kid was way more terrifying than how it actually is. But even then, it's still pretty. I showed it to Ace, and he even confirmed that it's for what it is. It's pretty uncomfortable. It is a scene where he's running up like a flight of stairs in an apartment, and he's opening up doors, and behind each door is like some creepy shit. And he gets to this one door, and he opens it, and there's like this little girl that's like facing away from him, playing like the violin. And Courage is like, oh, it's just a little girl. And then, so in the actual episode, what happens is that she kind of like just sort of quickly turns around, and then she's like claymation. She does like a scary face and stuff, and then Courage gets scared and closes the door. That is not how I remember it. How I remember it is that it was really weird, like dark red, like creepy, like the stairway was, right? And it was like really dark too, and like gritty, almost like a horror movie. I remember it in my head as a child. And I remember he opens the door, and I feel like I remember her playing piano instead of the violin, but regardless, she was playing an instrument and she was facing away, and Courage does the same thing. He like sighs or whatever. But in my head, she does not turn around like she does not turn around the way she does in the movie or the episode. In my head, as a kid, I remember it as being that he sighs and it pans back to her and she plays a little bit longer, and then out of nowhere, instantly, her head just fucking does a 360, and it is in the face she makes. It is like distorted, and her jaw is like her mouth is just opened up wide. And it doesn't even look like claymation. It looks like some like CGI, like fucking like some kind of like thing, like prosthetic, like fucking makeup, like just horror. I can't even describe it in my head how I remember it. It's just one of the most terrifying visuals I think you can just come up with as a little young kid. And that is how I remembered it. And I rewatched it with Ace not too long ago, and I was like, this is not how I remember it at all. This is not that scary. It's still kind of scary for a kid, but this is not how I remembered it. How I remember in my head is like and it traumatized me as a kid. I remember, and that episode didn't even feel real to me. Like, I remember as a kid, when I thought about that episode, it felt like it was like just like a dream or something. But no, it was a real episode. And like everyone always talks about the "You're Not Perfect" or the "Return the Slab." I don't see anybody talking about that episode, and it makes me mad because like the "You're Not Perfect" guy has nothing on the fucking creepy girl playing violin, in my opinion. Maybe it's just because of my childhood trauma, but like it to me, the "You're Not Perfect" is just funny.
Yeah.
But that was my childhood trauma. Now, before I get into telling some spooky stories, though, I did want to ask you, Ace, do you yourself have anything you want to talk about, like any stories related to Halloween, anything on your mind?
Shoot. Well, I have a lot of spooky stories. I have at least one that I can name right now. It's pretty relatively quick. Growing up, I had a basement in my house, and it wasn't like a scary basement or anything like that per se. There was a little corner table in this basement, and we had a mattress on the floor. At this point, it was just me, my mom, and my sister, and I don't remember what caused me to be there at this moment, but I was in my basement and I was crying, facing the corner on top of the mattress, facing the corner table. And I was just really upset. And on top of this corner table, there was a microscope. And I remember hearing this weird squeaking, dragging noise. And when I looked up, because I was kind of laying on my stomach on the mattress, I looked up and I saw the microscope was just turning towards me.
Oh, fuck.
And I just ran upstairs crying and screaming. And to this day, I specifically remember it, and I have a very vivid memory of it. It was, in fact, spinning. Do I believe in ghosts? I don't know. I think if ghosts were real and could affect physical reality, and all it took for a ghost to affect physical reality. Reality and be like a powerful ghost. Shut up. Be a powerful ghost was for a reason of like revenge or some sort of insane death, then I think all white people would be dead. I say this, it's one of my mottos. I don't think ghosts could hurt you because people die in ways that are super unfair and horrible, and most people would want to come back and maybe have revenge in certain ways. They happen every day, but we don't hear about ghost deaths that often. I'm not against the thought of an afterlife, but I just don't know if like a spooky spirit can come around and throw shit. So I don't really know what that was. Could it be a ghost? I don't know. I'm not against that, but I don't know if I can necessarily believe it in full faith.
It was Cole.
I know other shit. Did you say it was Cole?
Yeah, it was Cole. He was pushing
That's
it.
my cat, guys, by the way.
Well, he's a black cat, so you wouldn't be able to see him in the dark.
He wouldn't spin a fucking microscope and nothing was on top of it.
Nah, Cole's smarter than you think. He actually has a 1,000 IQ, but he's stuck in the cat of a body. The cat of a body.
He's an idiot. He's
body of a cat. Yeah, no, I like Cole.
I do love my cat though.
He's a sweetheart. You know, a real idiot is my cat Arthur. I love him to death, but he's a little goober.
He's so fat.
He is fat.
As much as I love him.
He is fat. Fucker needs to lose weight. I love him to death, but he's fat as fuck.
He's so fat. He's so fat.
But my motto is a fat cat's a happy cat. So, you know. He is happy. He's very happy. He should be happy. We take very good care of him and feed him a lot.
Guys, he's so fat.
I know. My mom just likes to splurge on our animals, but they're happy. They're very happy, you know. And they get good exercise, especially my dogs. They go for long walks. And because my mom always has a foster puppy in the house. I say that like I'm angry. I'm really not. It's very nice of her to do that, but you know, it can be very chaotic. But it is good for the cats because they you know, those puppies will mess with Arthur, and he has to like always like fight with them and maneuver around them, and they're always chasing him. So one thing I will say about the foster puppies is not only are we helping a little guy find a family, but we're also, you know, Arthur's finally moving his fat ass. So, in my opinion, it's somewhat of a win-win scenario for me, you know? So, but he needs that. He's very fat. But you know what? You might be thinking, talking about your cats isn't Halloween themed. They're both black cats, and I'd say that's very Halloween. So.
I remember, though, it's sad, like, when Halloween would happen, we would always be like, make sure Cole is inside so he doesn't get killed. Because people will go and kill black cats on the night of Halloween. It got to the point where a lot of shelters actually won't allow people to adopt black cats on Halloween because people will go out and adopt black cats to kill them.
Oh man, that's fuck! I love black cats.
I know, black cats are always the sweetest.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Arthur's very, very sweet. He's very sweet. He's a good cat, and so is Cole. I love Cole. He's a really, really, really nice cat. He's a little skittish. But I'm very used to that because my cat's Missy is. So you just be patient with him and he'll come up and he'll snuggle next to you. So I just also want to say, like, to the people who always say, like, I hate cats, I'm just like, bruh, you've never had a cat snuggle up next to you during, like, late night when it's raining. Like, the minute you have that moment with a cat, you're like, okay, maybe they're not so bad. I don't know. Like, I get it that cats can sometimes be kind of aggressive, but you have to keep in mind that, you know, they're not trying to be dicks. They're just they're sometimes very territorial, and they're very protective of their owners. And they're very, like, introverted animals. So it takes a while sometimes to get their trust, you know? And it makes me sad because people, like, compare them to dogs, and I'm like, you can't.
I'm more of a cat person, if I'm being honest. That's
fine, but it just makes me sad that people like compare cats to dogs and use that as the reason for why they don't like cats. And I'm like, man, come on, you can't do that,
right?
But you were talking about the stories. So you told one, right?
Right. I know I have more.
Sorry, I'm just
Like,
trying.
I'm kind of drawing a blank.
It's okay. I'm just trying to make sure, like, because I have a few stories, but I didn't know if you had any you wanted to discuss as well.
While you're telling yours, I'll sit and think if I have any.
So I'm sorry, we're scatterbrained, but you know what? That's the point of the podcast. So you clicked on it, but yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll talk about a scary story, Tales from the Crypt. So I remember when I was a young little man, only the size of a nickel. Me and my family would go out to the horse races for around Halloween time, around like fall, like from like around October and November. And I remember that basically every year we would get this log cabin treehouse, essentially what it was, and we would stay there, and it was really nice, and it was kind of far away from the other log cabins, like not like deep in the forest, but like it was surrounded by trees, but it was right next to like the water, like this lake and stuff. And I remember I would go down like exploring at night sometimes, looking for like tadpoles or frogs near the water. And at one point I remember when I was out and about, I saw like a skunk or a raccoon. I think it was a skunk. And I was like, ooh, my little baby mind. I think I was like maybe 13, 12. So I was like, ooh, little animal. And my fucking like, just like, I was like so fascinated, even though like never get near a fucking skunk, but I started following it, and I pulled out my phone to try to record it, but I lost the little guy. But as I kept on walking, I had my phone out and I was still recording. I don't know why, I just was. And I had my flashlight as well, I guess, because I guess this was back. Were you ever able to like use the flashlight with the while you were recording, or no? I don't remember.
Me?
I don't remember.
There's a flash option.
There's a flash, but you can't use the flashlight, is the thing.
No, you can't record and turn on the flashlight. There's like a flash setting in the actual recording.
So I was recording, and because I was recording, I didn't really have a flashlight. But what I saw, and obviously I imagine this was probably like a teenager or something, because it was near like Halloween time, I think. But and because it was dark, maybe what I saw might have not been what it was, but this is what I saw and what I remember. What I saw was in the forest, there was a man, and he was wearing a gray hoodie that was covering his face. And behind him was a big black trash bag. And I remember I heard him walking in the leaves. And that's why I looked over to where he was. And the minute I looked over to him, I called out, I was like, yo. And he stood perfectly still, just standing there. And he was kind of far away from me too, so I could barely see him. But I could just make out the outline of like a black trash bag and like a guy in a gray hoodie. But he was pretty far away from me. And I was like, yo, what's up? And he just did not respond to me. And I just stared at him. And then at one point, I heard the leaves start cracking again, and he started moving again. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I just like ran away, and I ran back, and I was like, I told my brother, I was like, I just had a Slender Man encounter. And I showed him the footage, and sadly you can't really see the guy because it's so dark, but you can hear the leaves, him crunching the leaves when he walks. And it was really weird. I don't know what that was. Because here's the thing, though. If I assume it must have been like a teenager or something, and I would have been like, oh, he's probably just taking out the trash. Like maybe there's like a trash area somewhere. But it's the fact that when I called out to him, he just stood completely still. Like that's always what bothered me.
Yeah.
Like he didn't say anything.
That's spooky.
And he just stood completely still. I highly doubt it was just like trying to hide a body or something. It was probably like taking out the trash or something. But and if anything, he might have just been messing with me.
Taking out a dead body.
But it's just really creepy to me that he just stood completely still like that. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure why he would do that. But yeah, I remember that was pretty spooky for me as a little kid, like 12 years old, seeing that. Pretty spooky. But it was kind of neat too that I at least had my phone out and I was recording, and you could hear my brother seemed to have picked out a moment when I was recording that you can see him, but looking back on it, I'm pretty sure it was just a fucking smudge. On the lens, but regardless, you could still hear the leaves crunching. So I that recording confirmed I was not insane. There was someone walking around there. So that was definitely one of the more memorable, spooky moments. I feel. I'm trying to think about. I definitely had dreams that were fucking terrifying. I remember that. I know I've had dreams where they've ended with me essentially choking to death, and I would fall back unconscious, and when I woke up I would be out of breath and sweating, and it'd be really fucking scary because it would feel like someone was choking me in my sleep. Those kind of dreams are really scary.
Sleep apnea.
So it must have been. I don't know what else it would have been. It is really scary. I remember there was one dream in particular where I was out in the middle of a field near my dad's house, and I got an Amber Alert on my phone, and then somebody just screamed everybody run, and so basically they were everybody run, and then I started running, but I looked back and everybody was power walking, and they all had this big Joker grin on their face. It was really funny looking. And, in the dream, it was scary, but looking back on how it looked, it's kind of funny. But I started running, and I got in a car and I started driving, but then I got to a dead end. The road was cut off. Literally, it was cut off by a giant DSI. That's what it was. I remember it was my purple DSI I had as a kid, and it was a giant one, and it cut off the road, and I got out the car and I ran to my dad's house. And when I got to my dad's house, my dad's car, the headlights turned on, and my cousin got out of the car. They looked exactly like my cousin. And they looked at me and they were like, "Are you okay?" And in the dream, I started I started going and I just and then everything went blurry, and in the dream I fell back, and then when I fell back I woke up in real life, and I fucking lifted up, and I was breathing heavily, and I was sweating, and I was terrified. It was literally a fucking dream sequence kind of thing. I fell back in the dream, and in the real world I got up. It was really that dream stuck with me for that alone. But I think the dream that I still don't know what this is to this day, and maybe my brother is just messing with me with telling me all this stuff, but basically when I was a young little baby boy, I had a very distinctive dream of my babysitter driving me and my brother home to our house. And when we got to the house, my mom and dad were arguing outside in the front, and she got out to go see what was going on. And when she did, my brother got out of the back seat and got into the front seat and started driving the car away from the house. I remember, and then in the dream, I looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" And then right when I asked him, he looked back at me with the most uncomfortable grin, and his eyes were just glowing red. And I woke up.
Yeah.
And but when I woke up, my babysitter and my mom walked into the room, and they picked me up, and right next to my room is on the second floor. There's a ledge that right next to the stairs, and they started holding me over it and hopping me up and down, and then eventually she dropped me, and then when I fell to the ground, I woke up again. So I had two dreams in one, and it was really, really weird. And then I remember years later, I told my brother about that dream because I remembered it. And my brother was like, "Wait, are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" And it was because I literally remember having the exact same dream when I was a kid, but instead of me getting in the front seat and having the red eyes, it was you that got in the front seat and you had the red eyes.
Ew, that's creepy.
And he is I kind of want to, I genuinely want to let me see something, because, and we even experimented with this, like with my brother's friend, because he didn't believe us. Like, we were like, we both had the same dream. So I left the room and he told my brother the dream as he remembered it, right? And then he called me into the room and I told him how I remembered it. And as I told him, my brother's friend was like, no fucking way. He like started having like a meltdown. He couldn't believe it. But hold on, I want to see something real quickly. Can I check something real quickly?
Yeah.
Come on. Here we go.
What's up, man?
Hey, yo, bro. I'm recording right now. I'm recording a podcast for my channel. I had a quick question. So we're talking about spooky stuff, and I brought up that dream that I had as a little baby boy about when you got in the front seat and you started driving away with red eyes, and how you told me you had the exact same dream, but instead of you, it was me in your dream. And I just wanted to check with you. Was that still legit?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I remember that.
I still to this day don't understand how that happened, like how we had that. But I do you remember when we told your friend and he didn't believe us, and then you had me leave the room and then you brought me back, and do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
You remember, I forget which of your friends, but they didn't believe us about having the same dream, and you made me leave the room, and you told him your version of the dream, and then you called me back in. I told him my version of the dream, and then he started having like a panic attack.
Which one of my friends was that?
I'm trying to think. Fuck, I don't remember. Dude, I'm not good with names. But it was one of your friends. But you do confirm that you weren't ever messing with me, and that was in fact a real dream. I want to make sure I'm confirming it for the video.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I think the house we live in just might be like haunted or something.
You know what? I fair enough. As a kid, I always thought the basement was kind of creepy. But all right, thanks, bro. Thanks for confirming that for me.
I got you, man. Have a good rest of your show.
You too. Bye. All right, there you go. My brother just wanted to confirm it. Because, you know, I'm not saying I don't trust my brother, but, you know, like, I gaslight people all the time. And, you know, who's to say my brother, you know, doesn't like to mess with people sometimes, too. He does. But I don't think he would keep a gaslight like that going on for that long. Who knows? Maybe when I'm, like, on my deathbed, he's going to, like, lean in and say I lied about having the same dream. Who knows?
Last thing he ever says to you or some shit.
And that's what ends me. I'm like, no! And I fucking pass on. But yeah, no, like that was just so weird having that. I really can't explain that to this day. You know, like my brother says, maybe our house is haunted. Maybe it is. I don't know, but
I think every house has got to be haunted at some point.
It's gotta fucking.
There's so many dead people.
There's so many dead people. One of them has to like haunt some. I was like a little baby when I had this dream. Like, why would a ghost, like, I don't know. Wouldn't it be?
You know, it'd be really funny if I just fuck with this baby.
If I fuck with this big fat baby and its brother.
Were you a big fat baby?
We were both big babies. Are you kidding me?
I don't know if I was a big baby. I'd have to ask my mom.
I was a big old baby. Baby back ribs.
Okay, right. I was not always a big fat bastard. I used to be little.
Oh, you big fat bastard.
Well, don't encourage it. I say as I literally ate a giant steak by myself today.
Oh yeah, you sent a picture of it to me. It looked really, really good.
I put the picture of my steak on screen. It was kind of. I accidentally put too much butter. I basted it in some rosemary butter, but other than that, it was pretty good.
It looked really good. I wish I could have had some, but
I'll make you a steak.
You better, guys. Ace
Hey,
is
never
such
mind.
a
I'm
good
not making
cook.
you a fucking steak.
Why? You're a good cook. Ace is so
you're
good at
getting
cooking.
greedy.
Every time I go over to his place, he cooks me food, and I'm like, this is amazing. And it's really, really
I would like to
good.
cook more. I've gotten better at it.
Nah, bro, you got to cook like a Halloween themed dish. Get some like fish eyeballs.
No, I
Get
don't know how
some.
to cook it.
you gotta do like that one hors d'oeuvre where it's like they take the fish tuna eyes and
Order.
they like
Order.
order.
You said that funny.
But yeah, do you remember any stories or any stories
Well, I
you would
have
like to?
had a ton of crazy dreams, but maybe to end this off, I do have one dream in particular that is really spooky and that you already know of because I called you after it happened.
Yeah, I think I actually do remember that.
So this was somewhat recently. This was, I think, the summer of 2024, if I'm remembering correctly. I was up on call with Penn for a while, and it was like 4 a.m. at this point. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna head to bed. I was feeling kind of feverish, and I was in my basement, which, by the way, reeks of fucking cat piss. So I was probably fucking high off of that, some like jankum. But I'm like, let me go to bed. And I kind of hustle and tussle for a little bit, and I eventually fall asleep. I had like a distinct memory of like waking up, going about my life, weeks and weeks on end. I met people. I finished up school for that, like, or not school. I started school again. I worked, new bonds, new shit. And then one day, there was this weird news thing. It was like, look up in the sky. And I know it sounds like I might be making this up, but I'm trying to recount it because it was kind of a while ago. But it was like the news thing was like, you should look up in the sky and see what the fuck is happening up there. I remember going outside of my mom and it looked like someone had their thumb impressed it into the sky. And I was like, that's really fucking weird. And it turns out it was a black hole. And like, it was like a while away. But because of the way it was traveling, it was moving at the same time. And it was going to come in the earth in the matter of like 15 minutes. And my sister was like not home. I remember calling her and she was crying like, I can't be home with you guys. This is horrible. My best friend called me like, I wish you were here. Penn called me like, this is terrible. I wish I could see you. And then my mom was like, we just need to be happy. We need to stop crying. We need to be happy. Come on, like this is the last few moments. Let's try to be happy. And my dad was just like being super somber. And we all were like in a huddle together, and then the black hole hit us, and our vision was like if you cut out like a paper cone and laid it flat as it like fucking like ripped through us. And then I woke up and it was really fucking weird. So like I said, it had like been months and months and months in my dream. I met new people. I could tell you what happened like a week ago. It was so fucking weird. And this was not the first time I've had like a dream like this before. I've had a few dreams where they felt like a few weeks, but I've never like months and months. And I checked my phone and it had only been fucking 10 minutes from when I fell asleep. And I called Penn like crying. I called my friend and then I called my dad and my dad's like, why the fuck are you up at 4 a.m.? Go to bed, you fucking idiot. And that was probably one of the most life altering dreams I've ever had. Like I said, I've had quite a few crazy dreams, but that one's like definitely up there.
Your dreams scare me.
I mean, I think it adds to me as a person, so I don't hate it.
You have some very fascinating dreams. I must say. I feel like I have an occasional good dream here or there, but sadly, I end up not remembering a lot of them. I do remember the weird zombie one I had that was a 2-parter. I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much.
One of those dreams where you like wake up and then you go to sleep and it's the same like dream?
Yes. It was really weird. So it started off scary. In fact, it would be the perfect story to tell for like Halloween. But the second half ended up being one of the funniest fucking moments I ever had in a dream, where when I went back to sleep, it ended up kind of like continuing off where it left off. It was like a zombie apocalypse scenario, and it had me in the dream, and also like a lot of people in the dream resembled people I knew in the real world, which added to the scariness and realisticness of it. But the second half then quickly shifted over to Adventure Time, and the zombie apocalypse was happening in that show as well for the umpteenth time. It's probably why it fucking like my brain did that, because like they've had like zombie episodes in that show as well, like quite a few, I would say. And it was like Finn like went completely insane, and like he came up with this like weird tickle torture contraption machine that captured the zombies. and like Jake was like trying to comfort him and like, bro, it's okay, bro, homies help homies, give me bro fist, bro. And then like Finn like started fighting Jake. And then Jake ended up pushing Finn into the tickle torture machine, and like he started like screaming in agony like and then what it ended up from what I remember, what happened was is as he was being like tortured in the tickle torture machine, like a bright light, like fucking God, like shined down on him, and it was Prismo's voice, and he basically like said to Finn, do not lose all hope just because Angry Joe is dead. And at that very moment, I woke up from the dream, and I literally went like half asleep, like half awake. I literally like woke up, and I just went, what the fuck? And I was like, are you telling me in my apocalyptic dream scenario, Finn from Adventure Time lost all hope because Angry Joe died in the apocalypse? It was really funny, and I literally woke up from the dream like, what the fuck? And I started laughing. I was like, what the hell? Where did Angry Joe come from? But shall we end this podcast with a memorial for Angry Joe? Was torn apart in the zombie apocalypse. May you rest in peace, you legend. But a few of his most memorable moments right here.
R.I.P. It's going through the walls.
Should when I upload this video,
know the clip from Kick-Ass. It's just going through the fat.
Oh yeah. You know what? Next podcast we do, it's literally
talk about Kick-Ass.
Just Kick-Ass. Yeah, just Kick-Ass. We just talked about Kick-Ass. I love Kick-Ass too.
Blah, blah, blah. I'd be down for that.
I am so happy when I showed you Kick-Ass and you were like, this is great. And I was like, I know, right? I'm so glad you like it.
It got me really into like Nostalgia Critic as a whole as well.
It's great. But yeah, you know what? Next time we come back with a podcast, Kick-Ass episode, we're going to talk about all of Kick-Ass. And if I can, we're going to get a guest star on. We're going to get the one and only 2D Lee to come on. Talk about his experience on Kick-Ass. Get him in here. Come on. Everybody add 2D Lee. Sell him the Brain Fart podcast. The Singular Braincell podcast is clamoring for we're clamoring for him to come on the show. But all right. Whew.
All right.
I think you know what? It's spooky. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.